Greetings, metalheads, and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George, and today I'm back with another Bands You Need to Hear recommendation. Another band, if you haven't come across this one, then you seriously need to check them out. So, today's band you need to hear is another band that I've talked about fairly recently in a collection update where I was showing off one of my more recent hauls of awesome cassette tapes, courtesy of Extremely Rotten Productions web store, a brilliant Denmark, Copenhagen-based label and distro. And the album and band in question that I was showing off in that review is this little gem from Mortal Wound. This is actually their debut full-length album from 2024. This is Anus of the World. Great title. So, Mortal Wound. Why are they a band you need to hear? Well, they are a pretty solid, I will say, death metal band. Old school death metal. Rooted in the kind of Morbid Angel, a little bit kind of murkier, sludgier at times, maybe a bit more 6 Feet Under territory. But you know what? They are a brilliant band, actually, and this is an entertaining album. They're an entertaining band, a good death metal band. I think they've got something quite interesting going on here. Conceptually, it's all about drugs and the Vietnam War. So that's an interesting kind of subject matter to cover. But Mortal Wound are a really solid death metal band. Gritty, nasty, filthy stuff. As I say, if you're digging 6 Feet Under, Jungle Rot, another good band, kind of along those lines, then you're gonna dig Mortal Wound. So it's a US band from Los Angeles, California. They've been around since, I believe, 2018, around then, and they have got a couple of demos, a couple of releases that preceded this debut album, which is a really solid album, in fact. So when I ordered it, I checked out a couple of bits and pieces online, on YouTube, whatever, and it was one of those things, you're kind of drawn in by the artwork. It's disgusting. You know that it's going to be death metal or some sort of death grind. You know it's not going to be nice and fluffy. And I was kind of drawn in by that artwork after seeing it on Extremely Rotten Productions website. So they have actually released this particular cassette article, which is very, very cool. They've done a nice job with this, good package. Sound quality is there as well, which is always nice. I was kind of drawn in by that artwork. Interesting logo as well, because it's absolutely unreadable. Let's face it, that's a tough one to tackle. But I was drawn in, the colours, the artwork, and was richly rewarded with some absolutely rank death metal. Tons of samples throughout this album from Vietnam War films. So you got some bits I'm picking out from like Platoon or Apocalypse Now. Little bits that you kind of recognise there, which kind of adds to the entertainment factor. It's a cool dynamic to have there in the music, and actually it's quite entertaining. The way they've put all these samples together, it is entertaining. But the music itself is actually really solid. It is solid death metal. So the band consists of 4 members. So you've got Sam on guitar vocals, we've got Matthias on bass, Peter on guitar, and Devlin on drums. As you can see, there's our lineup, and we've got a cool kind of compilation of pictures here, collage I should say. We've got some from Vietnam, and then we've got some interesting shots of the band and company, I assume. But these are all talented guys, you know. They know how to play, and they play solid, murky death metal. You know, it's raw stuff. If you're looking for crisp, clean production and tone and sound, then you're not going to find that here. As I say, this is gritty stuff. This is murky, and it's filthy, and it's death metal in the good old way. It's old school stuff. You know, if you do appreciate your old school death metal, you're gonna enjoy Mortal Wound and the Anus of the World, which I think is a great title. So I'm not going to go through each individual track on this album, but it is a good album overall. Found Dead in a Bush is a pretty gnarly way to kick off the album. Tunnel Rat is a solid punching track. You know, we've got drive and drum in here. We've got some really, really decent riffs, actually, and some pretty filthy guttural vocals, courtesy of Sam. It's got a pretty low, fairly inaudible sound in there. At times, it kind of reminds me, and vocally as well, of Broken Hope. It's kind of got that vibe in there. I'm not going to compare them to too many other bands, but it's kind of got that vibe in there as well. So you've got some killer opening tracks there. You've got the instrumental pieces, which are kind of, I guess, samples, you know, spliced together. Drug-filled Cadaver. Engulfed in Liquid Hellfire is a great one. That is a punishing number. Full Throttle Old School Death. The Worm Has Turned For You. And Royally Fucked Forever is a great closing track there, I must say. So this is a cool little article, and I'm impressed. I've really enjoyed this debut, so I look forward to hearing what Mortal Wound come up with next. Just good old US old school death metal with some interesting themes and thematics there. As I say, it's not particularly crisp and clean, but if you like your filthy old school death metal with a bit of groove, plenty of blast, plenty of great riffs, then you're going to dig Mortal Wound and Anus of the World. So I believe you can still pick the article up from Extremely Rotten Productions web store. So do head over there, check them out. It's a great store, great distro. Tons of cool bands. I've been talking about plenty of their other bands. Mephitic Corpse, for example. Been talking about various other bands that I've come across. Some of them discovering actually through that web store. So check them out. Freaking great label, freaking great band. So, Mortal Wound, a band you need to hear. Are you already a fan of this particularly rank outfit? If you are, let me know your thoughts. If you're not, do check them out. I'll pop some links and all that good stuff in the description. So check them out and let me know what you think. Thank you very much, my friends. Hope you've enjoyed this humble band recommendation and you need to hear review. Please do feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment. Support is always greatly appreciated. Thank you. Check back soon for more reviews and recommendations of all the good, heavy things. Until next time, do take care of yourselves, support metal, and stay freaking heavy.